Hi, boys and girls. We're going to finish Miss Crup Cracks Me Up. Chapter 12, The Amazing World of Poop. I looked around the room, and it was a whole exhibit devoted to poop. Nothing but poop. I never thought I'd see poop in a museum, Emily said. Oh, poop's a fascinating part of natural history, Miss Crup told us. We all laughed, because whenever a grown-up says poop, you can't help but laugh. Miss Crup cracks me up. Poop can reveal what an animal eats, how it digests its food, whether or not it's sick. Miss Crup said some animals use poop to tell enemies to stay away. Others use it like perfume to attract mates. Ugh, we all said gross. Miss Crup walked around and showed us the display she made. I had never seen anyone who was so excited about poop. Did you know that the most expensive coffee in the world comes from palm privet poop in Indonesia? Miss Crup asked us. It costs $175 a pound. I'm glad my parents drink tea, said Michael. Really? Miss Crup said. In China, they make some tea from caterpillar poop. That's the last time I go to a Chinese restaurant, I explained. Miss Crup showed us a picture of a sloth. It only poops once a week, she said. That happened to my dad once, said Emily. He had to go to the doctor. A week isn't so long, Miss Crup told us. Grizzly bears may go up to 6 months without pooping. No wonder they're so mad, I said. African elephants can produce 3 pounds of poop every day. 300 pounds of poop every day, Miss Crup said. Wow, said Emily. What do they do with all that poop? Well, in some parts of Africa and Asia, elephant poop is made into paper. I hope they don't make it into toilet paper, I said, because that would just be weird. Do you know what else is weird, Miss Crup said? Rabbits eat their own poop. Ugh, disgusting, we all shouted. And termites glue their houses together with poop. Hey, Andrea, I said, didn't your dad do that to your house? Oh, snap, said Michael. That's mean, Arlo. Dung beetles push balls of poop around and bury it, Miss Crup told us. Sounds like one of Arlo's play dates, Andrea said. Oh, snap, said Michael. Storks squirt poop out of their legs in hot weather to cool off, Miss Crup said. So does Andrea said. We pushed buttons to watch cool videos of animal pooping. Did you know that rhinoceros stop on their poop and kick it around? It's hilarious. And some boy cranes fling buffalo poop up in the air to impress girl cranes. Don't even think about it, Arlo, said Andrea. People throw poop around too, Miss Crup told us. In Wyoming, they have a cow tipping contest. One man threw a cow chip more than half the length of a football field. Remind me not to play football on that field, said Michael. People in Wyoming are weird, I said. I had no idea that poop would be so interesting. We got to match poop samples with the animals that poop them. Then we got to touch an 80-million-year-old piece of dinosaur poop. Miss Crup showed us some poop under a microscope, too. And we got to push buttons on a map to learn the word for poop in different languages. Poop is a palindrome, Miss Crup said. Does anybody know what a palindrome is? Andrea is waving her dumb hand in the air like she has to go to the bathroom really badly, which would have been the perfect scene in The Amazing World of Poop. But Miss Crup called on me instead, so nanny boo-boo on Andrea. Palindrome is when you make friends with bees, I said. My pal is a drone. Not exactly, Miss Crup said. Andrea, palindrome is a word that is spelled the same way forwards and backwards, she said. That's right. Why can't 300 pounds of elephant poop fall on Andrea's head forwards and backwards? You sure know a lot about poop, Miss Crup, said Emily. Poop is my life, Miss Crup replied. People who like poop that much are weird, but the amazing world of poop was really cool. We learned more than anybody would ever want to know about poop. And Miss Crup said the word poop so many times it didn't even sound funny anymore. It was really late. Miss Crup told us to go back to the dinosaur and we could climb into our sleeping bags. Finally, I fell asleep. I dreamt about giant poop that was riding a bicycle and it was making some weird sound and a buzzing noise. And it was a swishing sound. No, I got it. It was a hissing sound. Chapter 13. Stuff like this happens every day. What was that weird hissing sound? Hey, I whispered to Ryan, who was in the sleeping bag next to me. Stop that hissing. I'm not hissing, he replied. Yes, you are. We went back and forth for a while, until suddenly there was an ear-piercing shriek. Eee! There's something in my sleeping bag! Emily screamed. Instantly, everybody was awake, jumping out of their sleeping bags. Emily started running around, freaking out. What is it? Andrea asked. Maybe it's the blue-tongued shrink, I yelled. It's a bug, Emily shrieked. It must have been a rare, hissing cockroach from Madagascar, screamed Andrea. It's General Muffin, Michael yelled. Run for your lives, shouted Neil, the new kid. Ryan's mom and Mr. Mackey and the rest of the grown-ups tried to calm everybody down, but it was no use. Nobody wanted to touch the cockroach. We were all screaming, jumping around. Finally, Mr. Crup came running over. What's the matter? She yelled. That disgusting cockroach was in Emily's sleeping bag, Andrea shouted. Now we can't find it. I thought you said you captured it. I just said that General Muffin was in a safe place, Miss Crup said. I didn't want you kids to be scared. Well, we're scared now, Andrea shouted. Poor General Muffin, said Miss Crup. Who cares about General Muffin? Andrea said, it's a cockroach. Man, that was a first. Andrea actually yelled at a grown-up. This is it, Michael suddenly shouted. There's the cockroach. Where? There. Emily, Andrea said. It's crawling on your back. Eee! Let's kill it, all the boys shouted. We started chanting after Emily. Don't kill General Muffin, shouted Miss Crup. He's very rare. Kill it, kill it, kill it, we all chanted. Emily was running like her pants were on fire, and me and all the other boys were chasing her. That's when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. Do you remember that giant bear that was next to the dinosaur? Well, while we were chasing Emily around, Neil, the nude kid, he ran into it. Watch out! Ryan's mom yelled. The giant bear started to topple over. Do you know where it landed? Right on Emily. It was hilarious. A real Kodak moment. You should have been there. Emily screamed, freaking out on the floor. There's a dead bear on me. Get it off. Get it off. Shh. What a crybaby. So there's a giant hissing cockroach in her sleeping bag and a dead bear fell on top of her. Big deal. Stuff like that happens all the time. Finally, Mr. Mackey and Mr. Docker were able to pull the bear off Emily. Miss Crup chased General Muffin with a net and put him in a cage. After all the excitement was over, the grown-ups brought us into a room for breakfast. They gave us cow chips and scrambled dinosaur eggs. But I don't think they were real. I hate natural history, Emily said. Natural history's cool, said Michael. We were all still eating when Miss Crup came running into the room. Hey, who ate all the candy that was next to the candy machine? She asked. I looked at Michael. Michael looked at Andrea. Andrea looked at Emily. Emily looked at me. It must have been General Muffin, I lied. Yeah, you told us he likes candy. We probably shouldn't have lied about General Muffin eating candy. But Miss Crup shouldn't have lied to us about capturing General Muffin. Lying isn't a very nice thing to do, but I guess sometimes even grown-ups have to do it. The museum will open in 5 minutes, somebody announced. It's time for us to leave. We rolled up our sleeping bags. Ryan's mom said we could look in the gift shop for a few minutes until Mrs. Cornwall arrived with the bus. Andrea felt bad about what happened to Emily, so she bought her a glow-in-the-dark dinosaur bone toothbrush. Neil, the new kid, bought a box of fake moose poop that was really just chocolate. We were all leaving the museum, and Miss Crup gave each of us a diploma that said we were junior nature lovers. There was a picture of a dinosaur on it. I'm going to put mine up in my bedroom. All in all, Natural History Museum was almost not boring. Can we come back next week? I asked Miss Crup as we lined up at the door. Well, said Miss Crup, now that you are official junior nature lovers, you don't ever have to come back again. Bingle-boo, said Miss Cornwall as we piled on the bus to go home. What did you learn about? Poop, I told her. Well, that's pretty much what happened on the field trip. And maybe Miss Crup will never find out that we ate all the candy. Maybe General Muffin will stay in his cage from now on. Maybe someday Emily will forget that a giant hissing cockroach crawled into her sleeping bag and a dead bear fell on her. Maybe Mr. Doctor and Mr. Mackey will cut their nose hairs so they'll stop snoring. Maybe Mrs. Crup will stop dressing up like a wild yak and get interested in something besides poop. And maybe we'll be able to talk Mrs. Daisy into taking us on another field trip. But it won't be easy.